Good morning. Today is Friday, April 17th. It is day 5 on your new calendar. I'll just go over some things today that you have to do, okay? And I will start with language arts. So, yesterday you should have done the vocabulary for chapter 9 and also read chapter 9. And then you could have done some of the other assignments as well, but I will go over those today. I think on your calendar and on your cover sheet, I had you do the. I said to do the note taking and summarizing, but I actually had the summary page instead. So if you did the summary, that's great. If you haven't done the summary yet, that's fine too. If you looked on the day 5 and did the note taking, that's fine too. But I would try to get at least all 3 of those things done by the weekend if you can. So this was on your packet for yesterday. This is your summary. You've been doing a lot of these, so you should kind of know what you're doing. Just get those details down to answer those 5 W questions, and then write your summary to the best of your ability with between 3 and 5 sentences, including the most important information. So that's one thing to do today, if you haven't done it already. And another thing is the note-taking sheet. So you'll notice this is a little different than the ones we were doing before from the standpoint that I actually have some things written in here. So I still want you to figure out the setting. So what was the setting like in that chapter? Most of the book, the setting is pretty much the same. Then I list some specific characters there. What are some things we might learn about them in chapter 9? Then I have key events, and I have 3 numbers there. So think of, if you can, some of the chapters have more key events than others. So if you can, think about anything important that happened during the chapter. And then lastly, look at chapter 10, the title of chapter 10, and make a prediction as to what is going to happen in that chapter. So there's your note-taking sheet. If you haven't done that yet, go ahead and get that done today. Then, lastly, we have the comprehension and analysis questions for chapter 9, and those look like this. And remember to answer these with complete sentences, please. Okay, first one's the comprehension questions. First question, why was Joetta not completely happy with the gift from Mrs. Davidson? Remember, she really looked up to Mrs. Davidson, so for something to make her a little bit unhappy, think about what that might have been. Number 2, why did Mr. and Mrs. Watson make Byron sleep in their room the night before the trip? Okay. Then lastly, the analysis question. So remember, there's not a right or wrong answer here. All I care about is that you do answer the question and that you support it with evidence, okay? So you should have a claim. You should have evidence from the text to support your claim. You should cite that evidence and then conclude your answer. So here's your question. Do you think the Watsons' decision to make Byron stay in Alabama for the summer is a good one? Okay, so is that a good idea for them? If you recall in the chapter, Daniel or Mr. Watson had a kind of a conversation with Kenny about Byron staying there over the summer. You might have thought that Kenny would have been happy to have Byron gone, but it kind of sounds like Kenny actually liked having Byron around. He had said something about only going to Ohio and making Byron get nervous and then coming back. So kind of sounds like he would like Byron to stay. But think about what Mr. Watson said in that conversation and make kind of a decision. Answer the question about whether you think they're making the right decision to have Byron stay down there or not. So again, no right or wrong answer. Just answer the question and try to support it with evidence. So that is your ELA for Friday. Today we also have some social studies. Now I just did a separate video where I read the social studies passage, so you can check that out if you would like. I also kind of went over the passage a little bit, the questions and whatnot. But you should notice this time I did write on your passages, so boxed in some keywords that are kind of important. And also off to the side, I kind of made some marks on some important places where you might want to pay attention as you read. Those will probably help you answer the questions on the back side of the page. And it's just important information that you should know about the ancient Indians. Okay. When we're talking about them here, and I mentioned this in my other video, we're not talking about the Indians that would have been in America, that the colonists came over from Great Britain and the Indians were there. These are a different group of people. These are people that were in Asia, and the passage will talk about that they were in kind of the Afghanistan/India area today. Okay, that's where they would have been. But I think before you read, I think a good thing you should do is to look at your questions, okay? And just kind of look at what they say so you have a focus for what you're looking for as you read, okay? I went over the questions in the other video, so I'm not going to go over them here, but definitely take the time to look through these questions first before you actually start reading the passage, okay? Definitely take note that some of these questions have more than one question involved with them too. So make sure you're looking at the whole question because you might have to answer more than one thing. Okay, and obviously these should be in complete sentences as well. Well, that is it for today. Last 2 days I've looked out my window and it's been nice and sunny out. Today it is snowing and I have snow on my grass, so that's just wonderful. But anyways, I hope that you all have an awesome weekend. I hope you're all doing well. Keep staying safe, and hopefully we'll get to see you guys in May coming up here. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but there's still some hope that it could. So keep doing the best that you can. That's all my expectations are. And have a good day today, and have a nice weekend. And I'll check back in on Monday. If you would like, I am having another Zoom meeting today, Friday at 2 p.m. So if that's something that you are interested in, you could download that app either on your computer or your phone, and we could all get together and talk about some things. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to do that. I will send that information out via email, Remind, and Google Classroom. So hope you have a good day. Hope you have a good weekend.